Hello, our viewers. Welcome back to the Lukaluwe Foundation pages. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and following us through all these journeys. Today we have a guest, and it's still Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. We're still in June, and I have a man of God, a father, me and my brother. We have known each other for a long time. So please introduce yourself to the people.
Hello everyone, I'm Joshua. I'm a pastor at Ginger Miracle Center Gateway, and I'm a father, a husband and a father, and I'm happy to be here today. We
are in Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I know you knew about this. So help us understand mental health from a man of God's perspective.
Yes, I believe one of the things I've come to believe is that a man's mind needs four things. A man's mind needs truth, by which you can build your life. A man's mind needs renewal, because that is how we break limitations of our minds. A man's mind also needs a role model, because what you're not modeled for becomes hard for you to replicate. But also a man's mind needs focus. And for us to have a good man that is balanced needs those four things. Truth, a man's mind needs focus, a man's mind needs a model, and a man's mind needs a way to renew, to come and up to a place where they are better. They're better.
Do you feel like the church is more accepting of mental health, or we are more of a let's pray about it, we don't recognize the help and issues?
One of the things that I've come to believe, and I'm believing right now, is that the church has a lot to do with being in touch with the real issues that we have. When the system of building men is broken, then we have a broken fabric of the society. So I believe that we have to be in touch with that man's mind, how a man's mind works, and that is something that the church is moving towards doing. And every day, with every message, as we speak about, for example, the church I come from, we have a men's fellowship once a month, just for men to come together, cry, talk, and be able to accept and move and reform.
Okay, that's very lovely for men to have a community, because I feel like men are only...
so the solo beings.
Yes, solo beings, but I think lately the only time I've seen men engage is because of soccer. Like, I didn't understand what was going on, but I saw a lot of men hang out together because of soccer. So, as a father, how does mental health impact a family, a father's mental health?
Yes, I mean, we live in our minds. The Bible tells us in Romans chapter 8 that those who live in the flesh have their minds on the flesh. Those who live in the spirit have their minds in the spirit. You live in your mind. You live in your mind. When the mind is clean, your mind will be a reflection of your life will be a reflection of what happens in your mind. When your mind is clean, it reflects in how we handle our families. When our minds are relaxed, it reflects on how we speak to our wives, how we grow the children. When our minds are stressed and tired, a lot of the home abuse and the things that we have in our families is because the man's mind is not clean, it's not relaxed, it's not working the way it needs to be working. And that's where the word of the Lord comes in, that our minds we're not to be conformed to the standards of the world, but to be renewed by where we live, which is the mind.
So fathers need to renew their minds.
Renew their minds.
That's lovely. How do we separate self-worth from income? Because I had our recent post had a conversation where men, most of their issues with mental health come from economical status or where they stand financially. So how do we separate our self-worth, or how do men separate their self-worth from their income?
I believe we live in a society that has largely been characterized by that, and men live in this world that is competitive, and there's also the social media and all these things have created a lot of competition and comparison, and people forget that we run different races at different times. That because you are 40 years, I'm always challenged by men like the billionaire who gave us KFC. He only became a billionaire at 80 years. You see that? So the races are different, and many of us want to be men of the income and forget that our true identity is actually from Christ, and then from that we build to become what we are going to become. Otherwise, if we let the world shape who we are or what we are, then it will shape it by income. But if we allow the gospel to shape us, then yes, we are going to model our patterns off of Jesus. What did Jesus do? What was Jesus' worth about? And Jesus' worth was about dying for others, living not for himself. And that's what a man needs to be doing: be productive and live for beyond yourself. And I believe that when the yes, I believe in working men. I believe in men that get incomes. But we also thank God because nowadays we have women who go to work and help out and support families. So yes, solely a man should be provider, should be getting some income. But I believe there's so much more to a man than just the money that they bring.
You have said something that gives me another question.
Yes.
You have said living not for self.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that might actually be something that brings us to the mental health issues for men? Because men are seen as providers, protectors, and there's no safe community. There's also this thing where a man can't cry, a man can't express his emotions, you can't show weakness. Do you feel like because we see them from that position, we ignore how they feel, their emotions, which leads them to their isolation?
Yeah, I believe in strong men. When Jesus called disciples, these men left their business behind. These men were willing to die for the gospel. These were not weak men. These were men who followed something. And I believe also a man's mind needs that, something to follow. But as like you were saying, and I want to be sure that I've answered the question. So you first, please call the question one more time. I want to be sure that
do you think the position we hold men in creates their mental health issues that they just isolate, because now we don't see them as people who have emotions. We see them as people who are providing, so they show less of their emotions.
Yes. Men, true. Many times when we are raised in the African context, I think all over the world, men are told to, you're a man up. But then there's no place where you actually have that place where you have to let go of a few things. When Nehemiah was rebuilding the temple, there's a place they called the West Gate. They're the place where the West would go through. They're the place where the West has to go out of the city. If there's no place where the West goes out of the city smells. So part of a clean city, a clean mind, is a place where the West goes. So I believe men, yes, should have a place where West goes, because men carry a lot. And sometimes there are things men will go through and not be able to find a place to even tell the woman or the wife that we don't, or the children or the daughters, that I won't be able to do this. We forget sometimes that men are men. That is where we are just simply men. And when we follow the example of Christ, we see that there's so much more to a man, and that a man can have a lasting legacy other than just income. Christ did not leave us a particular church or a car. He left us something to follow. And,
I know the answer to this question, but I still want to hear what you're going to say. Who can men turn to during difficult seasons?
Yes, like I said, again, obviously, the God, men have to have that place where you have God in your life, that you can go to someone who won't waver, who won't change. And the lie is that sometimes that God doesn't hear or doesn't listen anymore. That's a lie. God always listens. God understands the man. And actually, in the revelation of the Bible, we have God expressing himself many times as a man. So and as a father, so we have that understanding from God. But also, where can men go to? The second place that I believe that men should be able to have is a model. Many men lack models, people who have gone ahead of them to show the way, to teach you even the basic, tying your shoelaces, all these things. We need men to be men that can go to a mentor and have a place. David had a mentor, or Timothy had a mentor. Every other great man that in the Bible that we've spoken about, they had mentors. And that's a good place to go when you're broken. A place you call home, a place that you can call father. As
a man of God, if someone reaches a point where they need therapy, do you recommend it?
I would recommend therapy. Okay. The Bible is therapy.
Yes.
But I also recommend that men should have a place where they genuinely go and pour out their heart. Because one of the issues with men is that they want to be on top of everything and forget that there is a place where you have to be weak. And sometimes what we call weakness is actually strength. Vulnerability sometimes is actually strength, because there are times you cannot heal from just being all man. There are times where you have to heal from being vulnerable in the hands of God, vulnerable in the hands of people who can correct you, and vulnerable in the hands of the people who hold you accountable, or you hold yourself accountable to. Yes.
Okay, this is very lovely. I hope we have like a longer session. But thank you, Pastor Josh. Thank you so much, our viewers. Continue liking, subscribing, and following our pages. We have more and more coming your way. This is the Lukalu Way Foundation. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.